Donald Trump's Health and Human Services Secretary stepped down Tom Price for corruption. He kept using private jets on your dime. This is something that Tom Price had complained about before he had an opportunity to do it, and he did it all day, all night. That's why he stepped down. Hypocrisy and corruption through the roof, so that's okay. Trump's gonna announce a new HHS secretary. Let's find out who it is. He says, happy to announce I am nominating Alex Azar to be the next HHS secretary. He will be a star for better health care and lower drug prices. Really? Well, that sounds positive, right? I mean, Trump promised lower drug prices on the campaign trail. He said he would fight the drug makers and make sure that the government could negotiate with them. It hasn't happened yet. Maybe Azar is activist. Maybe he has held the drug companies accountable before, and that's why he's a good pick. It could be. I mean, remember, as HuffPost points out, in promising to combat high drug prices, Trump has been critical of drug companies, saying that they are, quote, getting away with murder and threatening, quote, some very major lawsuits against people and against companies that are hurting our people. So Trump is ready to go after those drug companies that are hurting our people, okay? They're getting away with murder. So Azar has obviously held those guys accountable. Let's find out what Azar did for a living. Azar, until January, was an executive at drug maker Eli Lilly. What? Wait, I thought he was gonna hold them accountable. He worked as a president at Eli Lilly. That doesn't sound like he's holding them accountable. Okay, well, let's find out specifically what he did, because maybe he was the internal cop. You said, okay, lower the drug prices. No, it turns out he led Lilly public affairs and lobbying efforts. Oh, great, he was a lobbyist for the drug makers. What was that about the swamp? You're a Trump supporter and you thought he was gonna drain the swamp? He's laughing at you. Lower the drug prices. I'm gonna put in the guy who lobbied to make them higher, you idiots. Trump is as corrupt as it gets, and he puts guys like Azar in for that, not despite the fact that they worked for drug makers and lobbied for them, but because of that. So in 2009, under Azar, the company paid $1.415 billion to settle criminal charges regarding his promotion of Zyprexa for off-label uses. Oh, good, and borderline criminal activity. Nobody ever goes to jail if they're rich anymore. You go to jail if you stole $10 from somebody, but they steal $1.4 billion. They just pay a fine. They just pay a fine. Effective January 1st, 2012, Azar became president of Lilly USA LLC, the largest division of Eli Lilly and Company, and was responsible for the company's entire operations in the United States. Prices for drugs rose substantially when Azar led the business. The joke is on you. Trump is not gonna put people that are going to lower drug prices. He has done absolutely nothing about it. Hey, they just did a whole healthcare proposal. In the proposal could have been a provision that said the United States government can now negotiate drug prices with the drug companies for Medicare. Was that in the proposal? Nope, not in the proposal. Now all of a sudden the guy who's going to lead HHS is a guy who's a lobbyist and president for the guys who increase drug prices. So what has Azar said? Well, Azar said in the past that insurers and pharmaceutical companies should work together to reduce drug prices without government intervention. So while he's president, the drug prices skyrocket at his drug company. Then as a joke, he turns around and goes, well, if the government doesn't interfere, maybe we'll voluntarily lower them. Well, you had all the opportunity in the world to voluntarily lower them when you were the president of the company, and you didn't lower them, you increased them. So you know what that makes you? A liar. And the idea that the companies, out of the goodness of their heart, will ignore the law about maximizing profit, will instead, just because they're such good people, lower drug prices. If you believe that, no wonder you voted for Trump, because you are a blithering idiot. Okay, if he becomes HHS Secretary, Azar will take over the administration of the Affordable Care Act, which he has criticized as fundamentally broken, and like most Republicans, wants to repeal. Great. As the Health and Human Services Secretary, he will get to destroy health and human services in America. This is a familiar pattern for Trump's appointments. Now, unfortunately, the law gives the HHS Secretary enormous discretion over how to administer the program. This includes, for example, rewriting the rules over exactly what qualifies as essential benefits that all insurers must cover. and approving requests by states to waive some of the law's regulations on how Medicaid works. In other words, deregulate the industry. Let's make more money. And the thing about having to cover pre-existing conditions, it's a good thing I've got a lot of latitude here. I'm not sure you have to follow that anymore. And this is how we destroy the chances of people getting covered. Universal coverage, not even remotely possible. They're going to shred whatever is left of the Affordable Care Act. Azar worked for the George W. Bush administration, went and made bank at Eli Lilly, made a ton of money lobbying for them and then running a huge portion of their business. Then he goes back into government and he will not lower drug prices. I absolutely, positively guarantee it. He will increase drug prices. He will help his former employees who gave him millions of dollars to increase drug prices more. And here's another guarantee. Once he leaves the Trump administration, guess where Azar is gonna go back to? To another drug maker and make millions of dollars more and laugh all the way to the bank, thinking, idiot Trump voters, you let us rob you blind. Just like Trump University, just like everything Trump has ever run. They warned you and you didn't listen. Thank you very much for letting us rob you. That's the plan, and that's what they're doing right now, right in front of your eyes. If you like this clip of the Young Turks, you know there's a whole live 2-hour show, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern every day, and you can download it or stream it and watch it without ads if you become a member. tytnetwork.com/join.